Hey everybody, it's Allie Edwards and welcome back to December Daily for 2023. I am working on story number 9 today, which is one that I put together during our annual prep day. And the jumping off point for this particular one is documenting December colors. And so if you didn't have a chance to participate in our prep day, it is $5. You can go back and you can actually still purchase that and you can have access to all, I think there was 10 hours of content, including downloads, tutorials, all kinds of different fun things. And so this was one of the downloads that was included, was a die cut to create this and then the step-by-step tutorial for how I put that together. So my idea here was that for story number 9, I would tell the story about the colors that I have around the house this year, or the colors that are on the tree or something. I hadn't decided exactly what I wanted to do, but I have a photo of our very colorful tree this year. So my plan is that this is going to go on the back of the tag from story number 8. I still plan to do another story about the tree more specifically with this little thing that I have set up here, but I think that might end up being a bokeh picture or a picture at night or something else like that. So we will see that later. My initial idea with this was that I would either put photos here or I would write a little bit about the colors that I've identified, and that's still the direction that I am heading. I'm going to play around a little bit with, what do I want to put in these spaces? I kind of want to have a photo that has a white border around it and do that in each of the spots. And I think that there are probably at least 9 colors in the tree, or 9 variations of colors. So I'm kind of thinking about that. I actually also might not write very much for this one. It may end up just being a visual documentation of the colors this year. I'm kind of thinking about that, and then I can save some of the writing about the tree specifically for when I get to this particular page. So first things first for me is that I am simply going to cut out my photo. I'm going to get it adhered to the back of the tag. I measured the tag and it's about 8 1/4, which is often the height of things in these albums, and it's about 5 1/4 wide, and so that's how I sized that. I think also that I am going to add a pink on here. I believe that I put this together before I had all of my Christmas supplies left, and so in these spots where I have done the embroidery, I think I'm just going to add a pink onto the O right there, maybe, is kind of what I'm thinking. So that is one step that I would like to do, and then dealing with whatever photos I am going to put on top of there. All right, so let's go ahead and just do step 1 here. Again, trimming out my photo. I like I like taking a photo of my tree during the day. And if you're somebody that works and you're, coming home when it's dark and leaving when it's dark, maybe on this weekend, when I'm posting this as the weekend, maybe you take a picture of your tree without, during the daylight hours too. That would be something that can be fun to do, so that you have a little bit of a different representation for that in terms of different lighting and things. Okay, so I'm going to pull this out. If you guys remember, I didn't do anything to attach that yesterday. And when I trimmed this right now, I did it so that I could adhere it down on 2 sides and then trim around the rest of it. That's my plan, and then I'll punch the holes again. Okay, so for this one, I think I'm just going to staple it. I mentioned that previously, that that's often a way that I do these so that I don't have to have a knot, like a big knot tied in there. So you can just come in and you can do it, you know, once or twice, or you can make a little X, which is probably what I'm going to do right here. Okay. And I'm going to leave it a little bit frayed. So there is that side, and then it will be like this, which just makes me happy. Okay, so for these guys, let's see, where do I want to put that? I could always come up into the M, or to the, kind of just want to go like right here. You know what? Okay, points to you if you were yelling at me and saying, wait a minute, Allie, remember you covered that with the other side so it doesn't go through all the way. Okay, so, oh, guys, this is one of those, I don't want to take it all apart. So, I think current executive decision is I'm just going to leave that and I'm not going to touch it, and maybe I can bring a pink stitching in somewhere else, and let's just pretend that I didn't do that. And don't make the same mistake that I made. Okay, what I'm going to do next then is I'm going to go and I took some photos of some of the ornaments. So I'm going to investigate what it looks like if I print these out with a border. And I'm kind of looking at what, like 1.5 inches wide by maybe 2.25. 1.5 by 2.25. Okay. So what I ended up doing when I was over at my computer, as I was looking at some images that I already had and some that I just took so that I could fill this out a little bit more, what I decided to do was just use this as a story of colors generally. So I'm not saying like pink, blue, orange, yellow. I'm just saying here are 9 different things, spaces, moments around the house that have been colorful, or color is represented in them in different and or the same kind of ways as the past. So what I ended up doing is I just made this in Photoshop, and I did an outline. I don't know if you guys can see that, outline around each of these to be able to cut them out, and let's see what it ends up looking like. The main thing with this though is that what I wanted to have a border. I want the white border around the picture. So let's see, maybe this one, I could have it in a nice row. I wasn't focusing on alignment necessarily when I was doing that. Probably should have, but we'll see. Okay, so I'm just trimming these out, and you could do this without, you know, having the lines there too. That just is helping me as a guide. But let's look at just in terms of placement. Yeah, see, I think that's going to look cool to go all the way around with the, you know, paired with the number. So these are all embossed using the number stamp set and Versamark ink and then gold embossing powder. That's how I got all of those numbers onto the vellum. And I think that this is the vellum that was in the specialty paper pack this year, if I remember right. These are tiny little ornaments. I have the big ones on the tree, and then we have some smaller ones that I got for the girls to be able to use on their pink trees. They both have a pink tree in their room, and then neither one of them wanted to take the time to put any ornaments on their tree, so they're just sitting here in my office, and I get to look at them every day. Okay, let's see what else I have. So then I did take a couple pictures of a couple of the ornaments on the tree. Got a couple more reflections of myself in those. Then I have, this is the pink tree from Anna's room. This is the velvet ribbon that I used on the big tree downstairs. And then this is a picture that I took when I was working on some of my supplies. So I like the representation of the very traditional Christmas colors mixed in with the fun, other colorful things that I have been incorporating more of this year than in past years. I think generally I am a traditionalist when it comes to Christmas, and I really like the, going all in red, green, gold specifically. But this has been definitely like a breath of fresh air this year. I felt like that. This is a tree that we have in our bedroom. So we have just a little tree in our bedroom, and so I get to have the nice bright white lights on there that I like too. Okay. I think this is fun though. I like this. I like this as a page. I like it paired with the tree. I'm getting lots of colors represented there. And again, I don't feel like I need to write that much about it, partly because if you remember my intention that I wrote down in the beginning, and that's in the beginning of the album, is colorful, festive fun. And so I feel like the choice of this is right in alignment with that, and I don't necessarily need to have to write another story about it. So I think that that's a nice thing to remember too, to give yourself, that kind of space where maybe sometimes you just have a photo, or other days where you just have words, right? I've had a couple days already where I didn't have any photos, and I like that kind of flexibility too. Okay, get all these all trimmed out and see if I want to move them around at all. Seriously, making me very happy. I was a little unsure about how I was going to feel about this one, only because at first I think I was thinking too narrowly and feeling like it had to be yellow, red, like I need to do something like that, rather than just using it as an opportunity, kind of another, around the house opportunity to go on a color treasure hunt. And I think that maybe in the lesson in prep day I talked about it like that, but sometimes I forget. Sometimes I forget those things. Yeah, I love that. Oh, so fun. Okay, this is really, really fun. It's totally possible too that this photo with the ribbon, that might appear again in another place, but I don't know that for sure yet. Yeah, okay, I love it. I love it, even with the mistake that I made right there, which, I don't know, I could add some. Maybe I have an embellishment that could sit on top of there, but I kind of just might leave it and chalk it up too. Things happen. Okay, so yeah, I think all I'm going to do is just adhere these down on there, and then let's take another look at it and see if I feel like it needs something else. One of the things I like about going back through my photos for a day like this or for a story like this is, like, I didn't remember that I had taken a picture of the box of colorful lights that I'm using on the tree this year. And actually, I took a picture of it so that when I went back to the store, I was making sure that I was getting the same ones, because I had to make multiple trips because I didn't get enough at first. And so maybe in your own photo archives, you've taken pictures of things or screenshots of things that can then be incorporated into one of your stories. I think that's kind of a fun way to think about that as well, as you're going back through your pictures, being like, oh, I took a photo of this random thing, and actually that could be a really great support to the story that you're telling. So keeping that in mind. All right, so after I got all those adhered on there, I did go through the process of trying to decide, was there something that I could stick on top? I looked through all of my little number 9s in my number box and decided that the one I was going to use is a metal one from Tim Holtz. Before I did that, though, I took one of the little quote labels from the main kit, and I added a little bit of the pink embroidery floss on there. I had adhered it down just on top of the tree that I put onto the tag, but I decided to add a little bit of the embroidery floss, and then I'm adhering it using foam adhesive to stick it up a little bit from the back. With that Tim Holtz metal number, I took the same embroidery floss thread and just went through the hole a few times, mainly just to get that color on there. You know, that was kind of the original intent with it, but I also like that it covered up where I poked the holes. They're less noticeable, I think, on the other side, so just adding that number for story 9 seemed to make a lot of sense. I love how this one came together. I'm actually, at first I was thinking that I wasn't going to use the back of this vellum, but I probably am with some photos of Audrey's New York adventure that she is on right now. To finish off this particular story, though, I am slipping in one of the tab stickers there. I think that one says celebrating maybe on there. And I love how this one turned out. Super happy with this. All right, you guys, see you back here again tomorrow.